I love watching Ginger GM and Eric Rosen on their YouTube channels, especially when Ginger GM plays the title Tuesday. But there's just one problem with them. They sacrifice too much and they go for dubious lines all the time. It's very common to see Simon Williams go for a very dubious line that he's not sure about and then get to a lost position right away. But we have to admit that's very exciting as well. But running that risk is not my style. On that matter, I like to follow advice that go for a different direction. For example, GM Ben Feingold gives that advice to never sacrifice, only fits the exchange, and I prefer that idea much better. And in today's video, we're going to learn an idea on how to play very simple and solid chess to get to winning positions. So if you're new here, welcome to the channel. I'm Victor and this is What the Fork Chess. I post videos pretty much every day on chess tips from improvement. So if you are interested in that, please subscribe for more. But enough talk, let's go right to the video. And for today's video, I brought a game that I played last year to illustrate this idea of playing solid chess. I was playing white here in this game and I decided to play e4, which is my favorite opening. I love playing e4. And whenever my opponent goes for e5, I try to play my favorite opening, which is not the London system, which is the Scotch game. I like to play the Scotch because it's very simple, very solid, and you can get some open lines. You don't have to memorize an infinite number of variations, so it's easy to play, and it's still very strong. And the idea that I'm trying to bring for you guys here today in this video is we don't have to play fancy moves to win chess games. We can keep playing simple moves, avoiding complications, and trying to go for a move that you are 100% sure that you are not blundering anything. So we're going to go for an approach that we're going to play super solid chess. We are never going to give our opponent the chance to win a piece on any tactics because we're always going to be analyzing our opponent's last move and what they want to achieve with that. And then we defend against that. If we have a tactic, we go for it. And if we don't, we just improve our position. And we just go for a move when we are 100% sure that that move is safe. Okay, so we're going to play super solid and safe chess here. So opponent more often than not is going to take here. So my opponent took and I took back with the knight. This is a typical position in the Scotch. And my opponent developed their knight and I developed my knight, defending my pawn that was under attack, right? So solid chess. I'm playing simple moves. And in the opening, you already have your preparation. So you expect what your opponent's going to play. And these moves here are not surprising me. They are simple moves and moves that I have always, you always see this when you play the Scotch. So it's not a surprise. Here they attacked my my knight, and this is actually pinning my knight here. And it is effectively removing the defender of this pawn so they can take this and then grab the pawn. So before that happened, I'm going to trade this knight here and forcing them to recapture. And as they do it, I defend my pawn with the bishop. Now I have the bishop supporting this pawn, right? So they don't have this idea of going for the knight and then for the bishop and then for the pawn because the bishop is defending the pawn. So too late for that. They castle, I castle. So the opening's almost coming to an end here. They push d5. I just trade these pawns. This is typical for those who play the Scotch game. You already know that this is typical in the position. I developed my last minor piece. And then they play c6 to have this pawn supported here in the center. And this is where most people don't know exactly what to do because they are in the middle game. They studied their opening up to this point, and now what? What do we do now? So we have to look for weaknesses in our opponent's position, try to exploit them, and we have to be aware of our own weaknesses. So in this case right here, we know that this pawn right here is probably a liability for black, and we could attack this. And we have some squares here that are for now, they are available because you don't have many pawns to defend those squares. So here the pawns have already pushed and gone. So this pawn is very, very weak. And this square is also a square that is weak. This square is also weak. For now, this square is weak. This pawn can be pushed here to protect it, right? But for now, it is not defended by any pawns. So we can try to exploit those open files and this backward pawn right here. So this is an idea that we have. We can try to exploit that. But before we make any moves, we're going to double check and make sure that we are not blundering anything. And that's the approach we're going to take. We're going to just play moves that are 100% safe. And here, I thought about playing h3, which was a great move to prevent any infiltrations here on the king side. And I'm afraid of maybe this bishop coming here to harass my queen, and I don't like that idea very much. So I played this move, which I know is 100% safe, and I'm preventing my opponent from doing anything here. Here, my opponent just took my knight, and I took back. Of course, a very safe move. I have to go. It's kind of a forcing move here. I have doubled pawns and an isolated pawn. This is not really good, but they also have some weaknesses here on their pawn structure. It's not really bad. They played h6 here, and then I went for the trade, which I know is 100% safe. I know that now they are attacking my pawn right here, but I found a move that was interesting here to attack these pawns right away, which was pushing the pawn to c4. And now I'm kind of forcing them to take this pawn, and that's what they do. And then I take back with bishop. So I eliminated my weakness of the doubled pawns, and now I can exploit their isolated pawns. Of course, I have to keep in mind that I also have the same weakness, and this position is pretty, let's say, symmetrical. It's very hard to find an advantage here, but I managed to win this game in the end. They developed the bishop to f5, again, acknowledging their move. They're attacking my pawn right here. Of course, it's still defended, but I want to trade these bishops too. So I played bishop d3, and after the trade, we have a pretty much equal kind of late middle game here. They attacked my queen with this move, so I moved it away. And after they played rook to d5, I played my rook to b1. And the idea here is to put the rook on the open file so I can try to put it on the 7th rank. And that would be attacking all these pawns right here, which would be hard for black to defend, right? So they're going to have to stick this rook here to defend this pawn. And I can't see a good way of doing that. I might bring the queen as well to attack. That's pretty much what I did, right? So they played this. I immediately put my rook on the b7 square. They pushed h5. I took the pawn, and then they started attacking my pawns here. They doubled up here on the d file, so it's something that is we have to be aware of, right? So they're attacking my pawns. So I played this move c4, which defends my pawn, right? That was under attack by the rook here. Now my pawn is safe, and it's also guaranteeing that this pawn is defended by the rook here from afar. c5 was played, and after that I found this move queen to c7, which is attacking here, and it's also defending the rook. It's a very flexible move, actually. It's a great move. Then they attacked my queen over here and kind of my rook on the back, but I found this move where I take the pawn and still defend my rook, kind of forcing some trades, right? And I'm a pawn up. So now here I have a pawn up. And this is great because now I can trade down the material and advance my pawns. Actually, I'm 2 pawns up, right? So I can advance my pawns here and try to promote these passed pawns. I'm super winning in this position. So my idea here is just to trade down the material, simplify the game, not go for fancy moves, just go for simple moves. And the easiest way I found to trade the queens was to just push this pawn and try to force the trades over here, and that's exactly what I did. I pushed my pawn to c5. Now it's defended by my queen, and after f6 I played queen to b6, offering the queen trade, which is good for me. They took, and now I have connected passes, right? I just have to push this pawn and they are going to be connected. My opponent immediately attacked my pawn. I defended with my rook. You always put your rooks behind your pawns here so you can push them. And now I'm going to push the other pawn, and they just have one rook. How are they going to defend this? It's just not possible. They played rook to b7. I started pushing my a pawn. They have nothing to do, so they're dancing with their king. I attack their rook, and now my pawns are unstoppable. No matter what they do, I am going to promote one of the pawns. They took the pawn. I promoted to a queen. They played rook to a2. I played this move. I know it's 100% safe because they don't have any back rank mates here. And then they traded, and from here on, it's just a matter of finishing the game, right? So it's just a matter of technique. I was bringing my king to checkmate, and after this move, my opponent actually resigned the game. So this is a great example on how you don't have to play any fancy tactics to win. In this game, throughout the whole game, you can see that I only played safe moves, 100% safe, nothing fancy, nothing crazy, just easy, simple moves, trying to keep my play very, very solid, and something that is avoiding any complications, right? So that's what I had to share with you guys today. If you like this video, please leave a like down below. Your comments as well are really, really appreciated. And forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one. And I see you as always in the next one.